Okay, so probabilities here. So for an example, I put on there like flipping a coin. So what's your probability of flipping a coin and getting a heads? 50%, which is a half, right? So that's what we're figuring out today in different situations, is just your probability. So probability formula is what you want, your wanted outcome over your total possible outcomes, or total outcomes possible. Okay, that's what that is. Now, if you have multiple things, you're always going to multiply. Always multiply. Okay. I do have calculators for y'all today. We're using the little ones for a little while. Bless you. While we go through the basics. So they're hard to see, but I promise you they're in that blue one, the longer one. So there are over there. So if you need a calculator, you can grab one, or whenever notes is done, y'all can grab one. So the first one says, I have a spinner that is divided into 4 equal sections. So we have a spinner. Think of like a game spinner, you know, and we have red, blue, green, and yellow. Red, blue, green, and yellow. It says, if I spin the spinner one time, what is the probability the spinner will land on a red or blue? So I have red or blue. So what's the probability it's going to land over there? Yeah, 2/4. So 2 over 4, which is the same thing as what? A half. Which, if I wanted to write as a percent, is what? 50%. Okay, and this, we only spin the spinner once, so we only have one fraction. Okay, that's why there's no multiplying on this one. Okay, so let's look at another one. So it says, I'm completing a color sheet for my math class, and I have a set of markers with 2 purples. So I like to list out mine all in one spot. I know it's all right there, but this is just the way my brain works. 1 black, 3 reds, 2 yellows, and 2 blues. So how many total markers do I have? 10 total. Hello, come on in. Today has been the worst day. You're fine. Grab your packet, it's back there. Okay, so it says, what is the probability that I will randomly select a blue marker? So we're just going to start with that first probability. So how many blue markers are there? 2. Out of how many total markers do I have? 10. Then I put it back. So I grab that blue marker out and I put it back in the box, yes? And now what's the probability that the second marker I grab is purple? 2 out of 10. Now, like I said, we always multiply, but I like to simplify first. Okay, sometimes whenever you multiply before you simplify, you're making the numbers bigger and it's harder to see what it simplifies by. So these are both even, so I can divide by 2 or cut them in half. What's half of 2? And what's half of 10? 5. So this is 2/10 again, so it's just 1/5. And now I'm going to multiply. When you multiply fractions, it's top times top. What's 1 times 1? 1 over bottom times bottom. What's 5 times 5? And 1 over 25 is simplified, so there is my answer in fraction form. So if I wanted to turn that into percent, because we're going to find both, I'm going to divide, and I get 0.04. And we learned yesterday, or relearned, we're reminded how we turn that into a percent. What do I do? Move it to the right twice. So what is my percent here? 4%. Make sure when you're finding percent, you're putting the percent sign behind it, because the answer is not 4. Technically, it's 0.04. Percent and your number is completely different. Okay, so make sure you're labeling your percents with a percent symbol. Yes? Cool. Bless you. Okay, so let's look at the next one. This one, we were talking about starbursts. We have 5 pink, 4 yellow. Oh, I was trying to write yellow and 4 at the same time. 4 yellow, brown, 3 orange, and 3 red. So again, we have to find our total so we can make our probability fraction. What is my total? 15 total. So it says, what is the probability that I will randomly pick a yellow starburst? 4 out of 15. And then it says I eat it. So knowing that, do I still have 15 starbursts? No. How many do I have? 14. And do I still have 4 yellow? No. How many do I have? 3. So with that, it says, then I randomly select a red starburst. So how many red?
3.
Out of how many total now? 14. Now, neither of those simplify, so we're going to go ahead and just multiply. What is 4 times 3? Over, what's 15 times 14? We get 210. Now, those are both even numbers, so I couldn't simplify here, but I do need to simplify here. So we can cut it in half. Okay, we can also see if a bigger number goes into it. So what do y'all want to do? Okay, so what other numbers go into 12? 6, so we could do 210 divide 6 and see if it works. It does. So 6 does go into both of these. And we get 35 on the bottom. And what's 12 divided by 6? 2. Now, does 2 over 35 simplify further? No. Now, I'm not done. That's the fraction, so we want to find the percent. So 2 divided by 35. And we get this long decimal, which I'm not worried about all that. Okay, write it to the thousands place. So 0.057. And I don't need to round up because it's a 1 after. And what would that be as a percent? Not 50? 5.7%. So does that like have a high probability of happening? No. Okay, so last one together. It says I have a sock drawer. Doesn't everybody have that random sock drawer at home that like has all the mismatched socks? That sock drawer is like my worst enemy, honestly. I hate that sock drawer, but I do have it. I'm not gonna lie. So I have a sock drawer with 16 socks. I have 6 black, 8 white, and 2 blue. And it already told me I have 16 total, so I don't have to add them. It says, what is the probability that I will randomly choose a white sock? So how many white socks do I have?
8.
Out of 16. Okay, then it says I put it to the side, so I keep it. Did I put it back in the drawer? No. So how many socks are in my drawer now? And how many white socks are in my drawer? 7. And it says, then I randomly choose another white sock. So what's my probability of choosing another white sock? 7 out of 15. Because I kept that sock out, the first sock. Now, do either of those simplify? 8 over 16, what does that simplify to? 1/2. 8 goes into 16 2 times. 7 over 15 does not. 7 is prime. 7 does not go into 15. So what's 1 times 7? Over 15 times 2. Does that simplify further? No. So there's my chance. And so I'm going to take it, 7 divided by 30, and I get 0.233. And when I move that over, what percent does that give me? 23.3%. Which is a better chance than the last 2 problems, so it's a possibility. Any questions on that? Okay, so one more thing I want to cover is actually on your practice. Look at number 4 on your practice. Okay, it says Andy has a nickel, quarter, and dime in his left pocket. In his right pocket, there are green and blue marble. Which of the following represents the possible outcomes for picking a coin from the left and a marble from the right? So if he picks one coin from the left and one marble from the right, what are the possibilities? So knowing that, he only picks 2 things at a time. So which one can I cross off right away? B, because that's 3 things. He didn't do 3 things. He only did 2 things. Okay, and this is where you can build your little, I can't even think of the word. Okay, so we have a nickel, a quarter, and a dime. And then your option for the second one is a blue or green marble. Blue or green, blue or green. So these are all my options. I can have a nickel with a blue, nickel with a green. Do I have to list all of those? No. What's my answer that already has them all listed? D. Okay. So I just wanted to talk about this. Now, why do you think we didn't use one of those on like those probability problems we just did? Well, you had 10, 15 markers. Do you want to draw 15 things with 15 options? No. Okay, you would have some messy looking spider web on here. Don't do that. Okay. On the back, there are multiple choice. There's only 3. Make sure on number 5 and 7 you show work. Yeah? And if you have questions, let me know.